Hey everybody, how's it going? I am a staunch advocate of free market capitalism. The idea that if you make an investment, and it's a good investment, that you should be able to profit from it, and if you make a bad investment, that you should lose. The unfortunate reality is that we don't live in the world of free market capitalism. We live in a rigged system where people that have more money are able to change the rules so that when you and I lose, we lose everything. But when they make a bad decision, somehow it always works out differently. And there's an example here that I want to bring up. So I've been discussing what's been going on with the stock GameStop for a while, and I have a 30-minute video explaining the whole situation. The absolute TLDR of that is that you have a hedge fund that bet on GameStop failing by shorting the stock. And rather than just say, okay, we shorted it this much, we made some money, let's get out, they decided to keep going and going and going, which is something that's going to drive the stock price down, but also allow them to profit as the stock price goes down. But it's very risky. They shorted over 120% of the available shares, going up to what I believe was somewhere around 124 to 140. Someone can fact check me on that over the course of the last year. And people noticed this. They were able to use openly available data on websites like Fintel and so on and so forth to see that it was shorted to that extent. And they realized, they have to buy back the shares that they borrowed, but there's not going to be that many shares available. That's going to raise the price. I'm going to buy. And then you had a bunch of people purchase this using that basic math equation, not looking to manipulate the security, but rather after a hedge fund manipulated the security, already did that work, they simply purchased it. That's going to mean that the price is going to go up incredibly as they are forced to cover their short because of the position that the hedge fund put themselves in. Now, in a free market, if that happened, you would be able to purchase that security, and then when the short was forced to cover, they would go bankrupt. That would be life. Let the chips fall where they may. You made a shitty decision, and now you're bankrupt. In the world that we currently live in, that is not allowed. So after this started to hit the news that Melvin Capital, a multi-billion-dollar hedge fund, was losing money, and after we got to the point where you had other hedge funds bailing out that hedge fund, so you had hedge funds investing over $2 billion into this hedge fund that got caught with their pants down, there was not a mea culpa moment where they just admitted, okay, we did something that was wrong, and now we are going to lose. What happened is that they halted trading on those stocks so that people could no longer buy them across multiple exchanges. This here is an exchange where it told the user, you can close your position, you can sell, which would benefit Melvin Capital, but you can't buy, which would hurt Melvin Capital and the other hedge funds that invested in shorting this stock. Here, it's another one that says you can close your position, but you cannot purchase shares. And there are many people that are reading this, and they are actually, rightfully so, submitting complaints to the SEC, calling this market manipulation. Because that's what this is. There are other brokerages, and please do post the details in the comments down below so people can read about it, that are, in my opinion, manipulating the market in the favor of hedge funds. Do you think, for a single solitary second, if one of us were getting fucked over on a stock trade, that Robinhood or any of these other brokers would halt trading so that we did not lose our money? That would never in a million years happen. But it is something that's going to happen when several billion-dollar hedge funds are bleeding dry as a result of it. And it is very important to understand that the reason they are being bled dry is because they made an incredibly risky decision to not just short a stock, which is incredibly risky, but to short it to over 120% of the available shares. That is an insanely risky trade. And if any of us were to make an insanely risky trade, what do you think would happen when that went sideways? They probably have people on speed dial that they can call when they have issues like this. We don't have those people on speed dial, which is why the rules get to be changed. And this is what drives people nuts. One of my good friends often says, that the guy that I have on the channel every now and then, Dr. Evil Genius, is that I think poor people would be more okay and accepting of their lot in life and not complain about it and not get aggravated about it if they simply believe that they were playing by the same rules as everybody else. If you're a billionaire and I'm broke and can barely pay my rent, but we're going by the same rules, I'm probably still going to be a little jealous or whatever. It's human nature, but it probably wouldn't be explosive anger and rage. This is what happened after those brokerage firms took what is, in my opinion, illegal and immoral action to halt the trading of these securities so that the hedge funds could buy back in at a lower price and not be completely bankrupted. As you can see here, the stock is at $153. It was going up for a while. It went up, it went up, it went up. And right around here is the area where the brokerages said, you're not allowed to buy anymore. You're only allowed to sell. What do you think is going to happen to a stock when you're told that you're not allowed to buy it, you're only allowed to sell it? This is what's going to happen to it. It is going to go down. That is not market manipulation. You know what market manipulation is? It's when people read openly available data and make their own decision that I'm going to purchase a stock. I'm not selling. This is not investment advice. This is not investment advice. I am not a financial services professional. I am a MacBook repair person that is giving you a big fucking middle finger for every single attempt that you have made to manipulate the market. You may have manipulated the market, but you're not manipulating me. And this is something that just, it damn near brought a tear to my eye and warmed my cold little heart, is looking and logging into my brokerage account today and looking at the bid versus the ask for the different stocks that I had on my watch list and looking at GameStop. On every other stock here, the bid and the ask are within like 1 or 2 or 3% of each other. But on GameStop, the price of the stock right now is $196.14, and the ask is $5,000, meaning every single one of you are actually holding the line, which is amazing because you have brokerages that are actively working to manipulate the market, that have resources, that have money, and then you have normal, average, everyday people that are sitting there saying, fuck you, we are not selling until that hedge fund goes bankrupt. You don't have my shares. And guess what? If you're able to do that, then fuck it. So am I. I'm waiting. And you know what? Fine. If it goes to zero, I put in less than 1% of my portfolio into there. I will go down with the ship. But I am not going to let these motherfuckers win. These hedge funds that made these bets, that stayed in these very risky bets, at best immoral, at worst, naked short selling, illegal, are going to be bled dry. And when a hedge fund is going to be bled dry, when billionaires are going to be bled dry, stop the markets, stop the press, stop the brokerages. Don't allow those retail traders to be able to buy stock. Because when a retail trader, when a random person says, I want to buy 5 shares of GameStop at whatever the market price is, that's market manipulation. But when a hedge fund shorts a stock to over 120 to 140% of the available shares, therefore robbing that company of the ability to raise capital and ensuring that they make money off of the failures of tens of millions of investors and tens of thousands of people that are supported by that company, that is fair free markets. Fuck that. This should be reported to the SEC by every single person that uses Robinhood. Any single individual that uses a broker that decided to halt trading a day or two before the bill was going to come due for the hedge fund shorting the stock should receive the full wrath of the United States government. And if they don't, you will know exactly who that government works for. I truly hope that the SEC punishes the correct people for this. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something.